Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the platforms of the German Sim Racing Club. It's another double-header night as we will take to the roads here of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, otherwise, of course, previously known as Motorsport Park on its launch, and therefore known to most of us around the world as simply Motorsport here, just outside of Ontario, Canada, a little ways up the road in the closest town of Bowmanville. 1961, minor safety and wide course is that is set to stay the same time being, and old enough to think that here tonight we are. It feels like it's been quite a few. Legends support series for you as your commentator, and joined once again by Adam Lavis. Tonight, and by the sounds of it, we do have race control in the session for the racing action here tonight. A quick reminder on, and in early days, of course, thanks to has currently points Aiden Luthwaite there at this stage, and you can see it at this time as well, thanks to the way here tonight. The grid now halfway down the stretch. Man to beat. And for this one here, 10 ahead of another winner here this season in Gary. Going to start on the second row of Brookfield for the fourth. John Merritt and Adam Proctor going to run it top. Second off Chapman's qualifying pace, and tick over that with Eduardo. Tonight, Darren Lott back to the grid. Going to kick off from 13th place to Dave Oliver alongside him. For the 9th, and top 20 going to be rounded out by Greg Heaney and Nigel. And they're not particularly representative, I'm sure. He'd be expecting field, and the drivers now preparing to roll towards turn number. The cars track their way down to go for in the last. Real quick before we get going. When it will be any different.
If you just interesting sort of always go.
Very early through the final turn, White's strong, and the draft is going to indulge themselves in around the slicks that we saw in the GSRC. They'll still be able to round the turns here as we get through. Down though is going to be John Merritt in the background. Rolling in the background here, tilted booth. It might be the man in the 145 machine, so he's going to end up time a bit of side by side here around Gary Cummins and P6. Straight here, Mario Andretti straight in here, and you can see there, Guy Leach right in the up. Down the draft ahead means that Buttons is going to lose that P6 place too. Zamora here coming to the inside of Gary Cousins. That's 2 spots lost. Gary Cousins, you have to slot End of the lap. Top three. A glass ball ran its top round Motorsport. Most of the field there. Oliver nose to tail practically. Then the first real gap opens up back to John Simpson. He's got everyone back to Dale Sharp. And John Merritt and Hilton Booth. The last couple of guys in Booth to the pit lane with damage. Put it out, unfortunately for him. Pack of the field, I've got Richard Brookfield trying to free. I'm not mistaken. Joe Enhance has gone around by himself, I think. A slow night for him, unfortunately, as we'll look to a bit more argy-bargy at the moment. Darren Law. More so the inside. Make it 3 wide. And then Oliver gets the draft up, so it's almost 2 lots as they swing around. Turns number. A rhythm lob now holding the inside ahead of Brookfield. Dale Sharp goes towards the back of the field. Dodging the tyres. Yeah. By the time he recovers. Done lap 3 underway for your race leaders. James Glasspool, their fastest lap of the race in P3 to kick. Right, top 5 are together. Now very much Chapman, Leach, Barker, Keane, Glass. Consistently, if successful as this season has gone on, how if there'll be a change in the situation, as once again they'll be looking for, of course, is the exit here on that final driver around. Dave Oliver's gone around from the second paddle pack, and he's going to drop back in behind John Simpson's back. Taking with him, perhaps, so we'll have to ponder that. Have a look at that one myself. That's certainly not gone well at all. Leach to the inside. Brett Barker's also gone with him too on this particular lap. Chapman falls back to third. Yes, is here at the end of the lap and the inside. And then I've had turn 8 into outside of turn 9. Now, but pressure towards turn 1 as we start this 4th lap of this. Let's have a look here at some replays. So lap 1, John Merritt, cold tyres, goes nose, and then as he comes across the track, clips Hilton Booth. So on board with our shot, we can see unfortunately blocking his sight, and then in fact, well, actually, we're right on board. This is going to be a and then into up to maybe 5. We're forward longitude on him, and Dave Oliver, here we go. Into hot at Moss initially, the first. I was focused on Dave part of the Moss corner. Okay, so what's happened there? Oh well, so they say they'll have to hang on. Side by himself. That angle Simpson too close to that. Recap of where we're at, thanks to some disruptive replays. We'll go. front. No, my apologies. It does ends up actually touching the rear bumper. So nothing either driver really did wrong. Claps Max on lap number 2. Continuing on, Sam Chapman has redrafted his and Guy Leach. They've also exchanged places. The injectors online, Russ reveals. Second, coming up on the halfway point of this race. This will go on the middle of lap 6, given. Yeah, we're coming up on halfway on the clock, so it might be a case that we may only get. There you go, clean draft for the injectors online cars, but actually allows Chapman to almost get a second attack. But no moves to stay ever just yet on this one here as we'll round very much all by their lonesome. These are your drivers contending for the sprint race win here tonight, unless things was to go sideways. Glasspool 33.820. A couple of tenths, a 10th faster than Guy Leach, for example, was Funslow. 2 Adams. Here as they head up over the hill into for close company. Try and of course they've got groove tyres, so they asked with of course short wheelbase and aggressively down the hill, down towards the back of the field by himself. Try and pick up your point. Smash the throttle. And as here we go. So early down the sweeping ledge push. He gets a cue perhaps on Moss Corner. Not somehow lose any time. At complex, and then stay in the draft for long. Point off the straightaway. By lap count. Here as well, don't forget we are governed by the clock for the most part at 15 minutes. The laps have been calculated to try and expecting here tonight. So lap 7 of what is a maximum possible of 11 for information. Here we go, Chapman to the outside through turn number 4. Ranges up on Guy Leach, but he doesn't finish the move, but it enables him to take the first apex and Moss. Second part here and see what this does to the situation here. So we've got a good position to draft up to Brett Barker and do so pretty comfortably by the end of the burner. So here we go all the way up the straight to about here, just past the halfway marker. Here we go. Going with you, Sam. A little bit loose though on the push. Here comes Reese Keat up the inside, middle 3 wide. Through turn number 8, they're not going to get that one done. He's back alongside Chapman. Chapman should be able to hold this one. No, a little bit deep. Corner, so Chapman back to P4. The DPR cars able to make that push work neatly. Thinking he had the run for the with a late bump. Nice the bump in the middle of brakes and to stop himself going around. A couple of spots down in the... Unfortunately, in the complex around, he goes towards the end of the straightaway. Not the whole, but it does do in Brett Barker there, and can't. Tiny bit of contact there, wheel to wheel, so that explains part of the situation. But the games are afoot now. They're really starting to race each other. Glasspool coming now, perhaps to give the assist finally, but the injectors online, boys. Gonna push. 3 wide for second place here as we head up towards the end of the back stretch here. On the brakes, and now Leach hung wide, but they pinch each other as tight as they can through that sweeping right-hander into the left of turn 9, and Leach ends up back in front once again. Chapman and Keane still scrapping over third place in this situation. Here's they're on the turn 1. Chapman will get the inside here for the first corner here on lap number 9. And Reese King goes with, and now still sitting back in P5. He goes to the middle of the two injectors. Split work.
Yeah, get linked together on the front straight and didn't themselves back towards that front again, and then we're gonna have to form.
It's getting a little more fun. It seems is up into Moss. We'll wait for the very easy drafting away here and sort this one out here. So let's watch what happens as he's now 5 in behind Chapman. As we go up the straightaway here, Keane is going to take the pop out here too early. So there we go. Using rear, waits until the end of the straight to try and pop out with the drive. A little too far back, and there's going to be a push. And Proctor, the two guys who end up. We can as we watch this. We are going to be a lap short of the 11 lap estimate. In the box seat, these drivers have to watch. So let's watch to see when they set this one up here, because maybe give themselves the biggest, the longest. Guy Leach contact to the back bumper of. It's done now is to attach him, and as Glasspool tries to swing in a Moss for the final time. He's got to sort this one out now. They're up to second and third, but they might have conceded with a man in P2. A single sprint in this format. Straight away, pop out with the draft. Is it enough though? Side by side in the last half of the straightaway, folks. We are not done. Key slow down through the corner, put up, and he's turn. Damn, Chapman. I thought he might perfectly on the final lap. And 3 wins for the 101 Machine Legends Series. Motorsport is Brookfield, and Darren Lobb is going to go the way. Corner, spinning contact there, and we're going to as they come to the line. Critically, also, we didn't even talk about it this race, but the top 10 will invert for this final one. have a look here at the inside. Oh, Aaron Lobb is pushed into the back of Adam Proctor. It gets out of Funzo. Both cars sent for a spin. That's the back half of what I caught on my own end whilst I was watching the lead battle here. And then, Proctor with the lunge up the inside of Dave Oliver. I think Oliver's already going there as Gary Cousins comes around. So unfortunately, I think for Gary, he's just gone into a gap that was going to close by virtue of car dynamics, not necessarily placement or anything of the sort. But you feel it across the line, and we're going to have to bring up your race results here in just a couple of moments to have a look at them once again. And there they are, sprint race results here on at the end of the situation. So by points, that'll drop him to P10. For Sam Chapman over Reese Keane tonight, Guy Leach teams for this podium tonight rather than put together to max 5. Runner Johnson P8 and P9. Adam Proctor critically the finish there tonight. John Merritt recovering. Dave Oliver up to 12th after that last. And Funzo behind Mario Andretti straight away. 14th, but fends off both Dale Sharp and Gary Cousins for 15th and 16th. Another second on back there in 17th. Joel Hansen, one of our early after repairing the car. 7 laps shy of the finish. They slightly reduced. Here tonight from Motorsport. So to go actually. 5 minutes, not 15. You can see these longer races require about it. It is not rule set here in
There's a fuel limit to the tank size. Where it's very high. Like to some of the tracks with a bit more type corners. We did see so
it could be right behind. Spot and just push along. Drafting along, that might be. As the drivers are now being sent to second and final race here tonight. So when we can, we'll walk you through that top 10 in this race here tonight. Looking like possibly being just in terms of the race, the actual start this race in the front row. John Simpson and Darren Lobb will be on the second row. Reese Keane and Sam Chapman, they will round out your top 10, of course, with that inverted start. They will start as they finish. A job. Some more for the 7th. Dale Sharp, Gary Cousins for the 8th. Going to be starting this race by himself to make 19 cars in the server. That Didn't have any issues. It's entirely up. So you have to watch how aggressive they are off and save that. That may be. Strap yourselves in. To go racing one. Issues tonight. Hope will interrupted for you folks. To get ready for the second race. Proctor is on the inside. He will have control of the race start. He waits for the green for the second race, so he's not going to get this one as we get underway. The feature of the Aussie. And John Simpson, the inside, might be able to take that one away. We've got a lot of too wide. Oh, the injectors cars are involved. They're out for the field. Corner on that one there. Straight. For throw the yellow for that at the end of the lap. So watch everyone around. I think they might just already going pretty much full cruise. So we're also going to really just slow this one down.
With the safety car, it's going to slow him right. We'll be able to advance if we just have the one. We'll have to wait and see, and yeah, I'm pretty sure 90% the guys who were involved in the incident will want to stop and get some fast. Sprint to the finish line here.
Of course, you can see there. Mr. Darren Lobb, you're going to get an end of the line penalty. Anyone though is going to take that penalty, it seems. John, they've decided they're just going to go to the back of the line. There's a bit of a weird. It state itself in other.
If there's a chance these guys probably may, they may not do it, but if it does happen, and just making sure that when you have that problem in the mountain, guys, if they say, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see how we go.
Also from race control there, and also I believe he's limited by iRacing anyways. One full lap here, or 2 laps under yellow's limit on there. So this already Zamora, Dave Oliver. Also I see. So Lobb and Nommensen gets loose. Oliver, Zamora, Sharp. They're the ones directly affected. Secondary spin in by Leach in front of Brett Barker. Leach also ends up in the same situation. And trying to dodge this incident, Sharp gets involved into Sharp. for that one there. Whilst this replays, I think pit are all staying out. It's more about whether anyone coming to pit lane. And the answer is going to be no. Barkley, Bailey, Stream, Oliver are all just ducked into the pit lane. And all four. Believe what's happened, and I think I know what's happened. They were command.
Yeah, they did.
It's closed the pits whilst they were coming into the pits.
Okay.
I think. Should get away in a second and they'll be allowed. Cruising almost in.
Start here. They may have.
Sorry. Also opted for a double. You're going to restack the field in a. The exception of drivers like Darren Lobb and John Merritt, who are then put on the end of the longest line. So that's why we've got this uneven grid form. You up on the inside lane, which happens to apparently be the longest. By probably.
Oliver spent an extra 20 seconds in the pits than the other guys.
Yeah, he's gonna be in struggle. I think they do have problems. The other also kind of need Proctor to let the pace car go into turns. Who's blown a motor? Yeah, Glass pulls off the there. Field either, as it turns out. So lead us to the green. Oh, here we go once again, Fro. The start. Lane corner. Turn 3, yes he will. Up the inside. To go with him there. They're the two drivers. They're the only two still at the point end of this field. Taking back to the packs. Going to catch up, and now Glasspool with a blown. Absolute chaos. Respect, yeah. It's contact, Reed Keenan. We start the run down the Mario Andretti straight away. He's going to be off the back of the field. That may be looked at by race control, but it's probably all of this. And in fact, we'll be chatting to the. There's no real contact. After only 3 of them, mind you. He's been yet to do that this season. The feature race season. P6s, there you go. Glasspool coming back out. This battle pack. I will up the inside and try and get past them to maintain their run. Glasspool going to slot in around. So I would love to know what Glasspool did. In fact, saying that, I will go and have a look myself to see if I can piece a little unexpected here at bang. Meanwhile, live pictures obviously continue here. Now. Oh, I've just seen what James Glassman did. He actually revved the motor and he was already revving it pretty high. So now alive, the hub of activity as you've got to have a crack at this one here. Keen. As oh no, funds all around. Oh, Brookfield, sorry, into pack. And as a result, bye-bye to a chance to really run this one here. Fastest lap of the race. Merritt. The motor. Second to first. See this little from Normanson, I think that was, or that might have been Brookfield into Keane. Maybe just the possible potential factor in that one is Brock has gone around. Adam Brock, who is dropping down the order on the end limit next to Moss. He spun the car, it seems. And he will be now the next driver on his lonesome. I can't confirm he's it's gone into hot, lost the rear in the second half of Moss, and opens the door for in the second half of Moss, and opens the door for Brookfield to be the one in position to draft after Sam Chapman here, if he can close down that gap. It has been crazy, to put it mildly, here. As Maurice Keane going to be in second place. Darren Lobb up third. Brookfield and Merritt, your top five now. This one here, potential redemption races for Darren Lobb and John Merritt here tonight. As they are closing out on Sam Chapman and using the draft to good advantage. Draft assistance there for Keane. Darren Lobb at 33. The road momentarily. Got back into the forced errors. Perhaps not necessarily unforced, you might argue. Maybe a bit of action is causing what it looks like on this particular time.
Yeah, if you're unforced, the way these cars have their push bumpers, corners on corners, it doesn't end well for somebody. Simpson, and I think possibly also for the don't quite line that push up. These short wheelbase cars.
Sam, this feature we are the 2-lap caution drivers chose to enact on will mean that we will pick up the. In fact, to figure out. But I'd be expecting about 16. Actually, a little struck on that one there. We've got 18 laps based on the lap times, but for close to 16 or 17. 2 laps and a caution in these cars, which seems a little crazy. On the straightaways. racing pace, but that out at Moss and gone as Chapman push, but John Merrick comes being pushed to win out. It'll be swing wide to the nose ahead through lob. Chapman back to the lead of the race. He's the second pack of cars. Eilish, Greg Heaney, Brett Markey, Hilton Booth, and funds. We've got a car that's not racing and involved in the situation. Down by himself. Now Reese Keane. Lob continue to try and give his DPR. But he can. Sam Chapman. DPR guy. Run wide off the road. This pack will not. So expect Gary Cummins with got their own little thing. Both sides as it stands. Going to race this one out between the two of them. They might be able to go and eventually. Reese Keane, who pulled out of the slipstream early. Darren Lobb didn't go with him, I don't think. The ebb and this we're inside of 9. You crunch your numbers, we're doing over 9. Let's do this here. So currently doing folks what we'll get out of this race. Get to the lap 15. That is the number. Barney on the stand. Keep that one in mind. As again on Sam Chapman, but they're going to have to get a clean run. Particular lap. They're not really going to be in a position, I don't think, to. It'll be a mighty big token. Look at this here. Keen that push. Actually, this might. Okay, this is keen at least. But Darren Lobb. Bides his position in P3 enough to really get the overlap. Apex for Chapman will be his at turn 10. The apex at turn 10 for the run of. So we wait to see. Fully now the 33. The 10th lap of it. So that in the back if from these drivers, because you will this time they're a lot closer. Really needs Darren Lobb to go with him down the straightaway over getting enough alongside or even ahead.
The Moss there, because the slipstream is good in these cars. At terminal velocity of these things, because he's got all the air. That's when these other guys overspeed, and then they go try and slip Usually the inside is defended up this back.
Strategy though this time was to actually give the push to Sam Chapman. So no moves made by the DPR duo. They instead opt to settle in for on this particular lap here. So it'll switch them up, try and play some games as worked quite nicely for this yellow submarine. Whilst not the regular colours of AIT X Revolutionary Racing. Oh! Funslow, or Proctor.
It looks like
Looks
like he lost the rear on the check.
Yeah, it was already going on entry. It was self-correcting somewhat. Right here. So it goes now. He's got it. And puts himself in the fence. Fortunately, decides that's enough. It'll get him. Go by my count. It'll be 3 back for Reese Keane. You see, the draft really doesn't do anything yet. Done pushing lob. So now you've got Keane goes for it first. Situation, and it'll be Chapman. But now with inside should be a fall back from Keane off the turn as well. The front of this field. 15 underway here. Brookfield. What does someone like Brookfield do? Fourth, I'd say forever. Before this race, the race through Quebec corner. Back in the field, Glasspool, Gary Cousins tangled up. It was Zamora, then Glasspool. As it's on for the race. DPR cars. Nearly 3. Here. The clock went then. Out. Of course, but I think he's going to need the help of top 2. Here you go, Darren Lobb is actually pushing Sam in towards Moss. In this crest, who gets the best run? Wash, it seems, for now half a second between Lobb and away here. There you go. Advantage with Reese Keane. They're going to drop away from third place rather than running it for the top. Half of the straightaway as Lobb continues the push. I think this has become a 2-horse.
Try and isolate Chapo for himself for the last lap here.
Yeah, it will now mean that really set this one up, I think, and do what he wants with it, as this is race control for the incident with, as well as others there on the extra turns. First cars now on lap of the race here by going for third. I just think on that lap they could have the condemnation. He'll be here on this final lap, but it's all eyes on the right behind Sam Chapman. He's going to have all the options in the world. He just needs to maybe give himself a position. He lets himself drop back to about 3 from Darren Lobb. Of course, coming out from overspeed Bill Lobb as we try and get this position taken. It will be side by side. It has not front even as we swing through turn 8, turn 9. He's got this one here. He made this one work side by side there. Look. Turn 10. If you 10. He's going to do the double here in the Aussie legend. All by his own.
Yeah, I think go a little bit heavy on the throttle, a little slow.
It might just have indeed from that. Up to the end of the back straight away. Wide draft through. Best as he can there. Closes out too little too. Chapman in there. I think Lobb might have just accidentally pinched him too much. Messed things up for him. And tumble. Oh, so. Between Sam Chapman and Darren Lobb, with Reese Keane just behind him in P4. Then 7 tonight. Adam Fonzo and Eduardo Zamora in 9th, able to get behind them in 11th. Gary John Simpson doesn't lead lap with Joel and Hansen. 9th places. A lap down for that one. On the safety car restart, Adam Proctor retiring at the last turn, and Dave Oliver retiring as well. So that and the 17 off the get-go. Wait and see a moment if some of the action on instant the field and a bit of a messy moment. So, yeah, watch out for that one. Yeah. I guess anything that we would want to note.
I think it was, yeah, what was doing with the with its freezing. That'd be nice. On the YouTube part of the stream. Yeah, as far as the racing is lots of slipstream battles. Smart play towards the end there. Just unfortunately, and stuff. So with the pit lane thing, and obviously we have to hold off advancing the green flag till the guys are all in the lane or out, or that shouldn't be in there, but it is just the fact that as soon as you advance it, it closes the pit lane. So NASCAR rules. And these guys are boxes.
Indeed, they were. 3 of the season, and when we talk about actually bring up the season schedule for the and yeah, I'm going to heading circuit of choice for now. I've never seen racing circuit configuration whilst the supercars international course. So once again, that separation between what they're doing, whereas unlike tonight, of course, they'll be racing the same configuration. That excitement there to keep in mind, but cool in some respects at the bend, perhaps we'll that there, I think, is going to do us for now. Sign of any drivers to chat with us post-race. Now here, give back end as well. Get this thing at home, and just please do so. Of course, Trophi.AI Supercars coming up next here from Motorsport as well to continue. Otherwise, if you're just here for the Aussie Legend Racing, thank you very much for joining us, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you next week. I want to thank you for making all of the racing possible here this season, and with the Wings and Slicks SFL racing alongside the as has been now for many a season. Of course, our club overall sponsor for season 2026A once again, as well as GTE Challenge on Friday nights. There, so big thanks to Richo and the crew there. Flash graphics for liveries in various cars, decals. Unless if I'm getting things wrong there, apologies, John. But nevertheless, if you're after an John, see what he can do for you if you're a part of the club, and also painful, John might have one for you. Look, that, and the last one we haven't spoken about, but certainly not least, with some merch, you can do so at merch.tg. Branded merch as well as some of the teams that partake. Support the club and get something